And I don't know if you've ever worked in a family business, so that can be trying. But
Yeah.
I learned so much working with my dad, and working with all of the retail side, and then setting up mom and pop shops throughout West Virginia. Like you said, I mean that is a lot. That was the heart of our business.
Yeah.
We set up these small mom and pop shops, and so watching them, if they were struggling, then we had to figure out a way to help them grow. And so I've seen that my whole life. And so this just felt like the right fit for me. And luckily the commission felt like I was the right fit for them.
Yeah.
Positively West Virginia is powered by Breezeline high-speed fiber internet and sponsored by Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Key of Morgantown, Interaction Media, and Storymaker. With the help of these sponsors, we are able to share the positive business stories of West Virginians, including the one featured in today's episode.
Well, folks, we're visiting today with Stephanie Hockenberry. She's with the Ohio County Economic Development Authority. Stephanie, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning about you and what's going on in Ohio County, West Virginia. How's that?
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to sharing.
Well, tell us a little bit about your work with the Ohio County Economic Development Authority.
Sure. So I was hired in December, and this is a new position, and it's kind of a unique position. So it's a position that has come together with multiple organizations within Ohio County. So we've got the city participating, the county commission, the RED, which is our regional economic development partners, the Bellamar, we've got the Community Foundation, the Chamber, Wheeling Heritage. There are a lot of people that come together. Also the Convention Visitor Bureau. So we have a lot of people that have come together to really collaborate and really take Ohio County to the next level. So that's really what we're trying to do.
Well, economic development is very important for West Virginia. As
Absolutely.
we know, we often struggle with attracting businesses and retaining, businesses, particularly small businesses, which is the lifeblood of West Virginia's economy, right? So how did you get started in this role? What drew you to economic development?
So
What's your background too?
Yeah. So I come from a small business family. My father had multiple
Perfect.
small
Yeah.
businesses when we were growing up, and he started them when I was 4, and a retail and a wholesale business. And I kind of grew through that, right? Learned all the things that he did, helped him. I can remember putting together marketing packets for him for his shows. And so it kind of folded into, after 30 years of doing his business, and we ended up having to close that. I went into some other roles and just couldn't really figure out where I wanted to settle. And this opportunity came up last year, and the county commission had advertised for it. And I thought, you know what, this kind of sounds like all the things that I want to do. It seemed very purposeful. And after, 20 some years of working in different industries, I thought I really want something that's going to make an impact and help other people. So this job allows for that because I'm able to work with small businesses, work with people that want to come here and move here, and just see what they need and what they want and how we can help them.
Yeah. See, I said the word perfect as you were describing that, because that's what came. You need to have somebody in economic development that understands business, right? That understands the ups and downs, the hardships, the good, the bad, and the ugly of small business. It sounds like working alongside your dad's business, you got to experience that.
I did. And I don't know if you've ever worked in a family business, so that can be trying. But I learned so much working with my dad, and working with all of the retail side, and then setting up mom and pop shops throughout West Virginia. Like you said, I mean that is a lot. That was the heart of our business. We set up these small mom and pop shops, and so watching them, if they were struggling, then we had to figure out a way to help them grow. And so I've seen that my whole life. And so this just felt like the right fit for me. And luckily the commission felt like I was the right fit for them.
Yeah,
So.
it sounds like they got the right person for the job, for sure. So the cool thing is you grew up in Ohio County, right?
I did.
You were born there in Warwood, West Virginia.
Yes.
And now you're helping to attract businesses into Ohio County. What's the thing that you're known for right now? If maybe give us your 30-second pitch. In other words, somebody says, Stephanie, what do you do?
So
What do you tell them?
right now, I'm working on a huge initiative with some education partners. And so we're calling it RISE, and it's the reshaping the impact for students and employers. And so we're bringing together K through 12 and the higher education institutions locally. And it's a little bit regionally as well, because we are so close to Ohio and Pennsylvania. And then, so that is really just trying to create a continuum of how we keep these kids connected to the assets that we have in the county, and then how we create opportunities for them to stay. And if they want to leave, do they know what we have so that they can come back?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay for somebody to leave as long as they have the intention of coming back to West Virginia, right?
Absolutely.
We don't mind if they leave for a short period, but come back and do something great here. What higher education organizations are you working with?
Sure. So West Liberty University, Dr. Borchers is heading up the initiative. And then we've got Wheeling University, West Virginia Northern Community College, Ohio University Eastern. The trades are working with us.
Great.
Bethany College. And then we've got, I think Belmont Tech is involved a little bit, but not as much yet, but they will be. I think everybody sees the benefit to, how do we keep them moving through and finding opportunities for them to work and stay there.
That's got to feel good too, because you went to a couple of those colleges, right?
I did.
Talk about your education pathway.
Yeah, so I started out as an elementary education major and really wasn't sure that was what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started out in elementary ed, went through that for 3 years, and then decided one day after sitting in a classroom with some first graders that this was not going to be for me every day of my life. And so I went home, I told my mom, I said, I think I want to change my major. And she said, okay. And so I changed over to business. I ended up graduating from West Liberty University. At the time, it was West Liberty State College. And then I went on to get my master's degree at Wheeling University.
That's an MBA.
Yes, I got an MBA at Wheeling University. And so just really have a love for, the local institutions and what they can offer. But I think that was part of this RISE piece that made me feel so connected, because I didn't know my pathway, and this is what we're trying to do: help create pathways for these kids.
Yeah, I love it. And like I said just a minute ago, when you tied the higher education piece in, I mean, it sounds like you're in the perfect spot. Being from Ohio County, working for your dad's small business, going to two of the education partners that you're working with now, that is awesome. I mean, it's got to feel good. What's the thing you're most excited about right now?
So I'm really excited about the aviation in Ohio County. We just came off of the Wings Over Wheeling Air Show this past weekend and wasn't sure what to expect. Never been to an air show, and I never planned one. I've planned many events, but not an air show.
Here we go.
And we had a great team of volunteers, and it was just so cool to see how many people were excited about the potential and the opportunity that aviation can bring in Ohio County.
Yeah, why is it so important?
So it's important because there's a shortage of pilots, right? And so we're trying to create, and other positions within aviation. So we need mechanics, we need pilots, we need, people to work on the planes and take care of the planes and take care of the airports. And so it's job opportunities. There's a lot of positions that we can help fill locally and then nationally. But the other piece is that, West Liberty and Marshall have teamed up to create an aviation program at our Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. So it's just, everyone's really excited. This is the first year. They're kicking off. The classroom's ready. We're getting ready for students. So yeah, and to see so many people come out to the airport. We had over 8,000 people attend.
Wow.
Yeah,
good job.
It wasn't just me. I mean, there were a lot of people that had to bring that together,
Sure.
but so cool, and just super excited about, the potential for what's to happen.
Aviation, like you said, is, and you were very eloquent, there are massive opportunities. And I love the partnership with Marshall and West Liberty as well. I think that's super cool. Stephanie, we're going to take a break. This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back.
Your prescriptions are designed to keep you healthy, active, full of life. At Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're making vital medicine more affordable. Because when your prescriptions don't cost an arm and a leg, you can use those limbs for something more meaningful. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, West Virginia.
At Freedom Kia, you'll find the perfect ride and savings for your summer adventures. This summer, dive into savings and fun. Just down the road is the Aquatic Center at Milan Park, where you can cool off and have some fun.
Find what you have been searching for in the 2024 Kia Telluride. Right now at Freedom Kia of Morgantown, qualified buyers can save $2,500 on the 2024 Kia Telluride. For your next new Kia, look no further than Freedom Kia exit I-79, exit 153, Morgantown.
Folks, we're back. We're visiting with Stephanie Hockenberry with the Ohio County Development Authority. Stephanie, thanks again for being with us. You've been in this position, 8 or 9 months?
Yes.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen so far?
Oh my gosh, I think it's all interesting to see how everything has to come together, and it's like a giant puzzle. So you've got to have, government and private business and the local community. So I think just watching all of the pieces form and create that bigger picture, that's been the most interesting thing for me to learn. This is my first role in government, so it's been a little bit of a learning curve, and trying to slow down. Used to running at a full force, so trying to figure out how that works.
Well, when I think about economic development, and you've got a couple of roles in that, one is attracting new business to come to Ohio County. The other is retaining, right? Retention piece. Kind of talk about both of those things and how you're, what are you doing and how do you sell Ohio County to folks?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest piece, right? When you look at it, it is selling the county. And so marketing it in a way that is attractive to people and wanting them to move here, live here, create a business here. So I think part of it is letting people know what we have to offer. So getting that out there first and foremost. And so I've done a lot of research, gone out and, even though I've lived there my whole life, still can never know enough. So gone out and just asked people, what they needed and what would be helpful. But I think the thing that sells Ohio County right now is affordability and community. And I think if you have a small business, you will find that Wheeling and Ohio County and the surrounding, little neighborhoods, they're very supportive of small business. And I think, that's really what's going to make the difference, because we kind of thrive on small business, like you said, in West Virginia, that's kind of what we're made of.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, the small businesses that you're talking about, they add to the fabric of the West Virginia culture, right? And, we hate it when a long-standing business, maybe like your dad's, goes out of business or leaves, or they run their course and they shut down. And so you have to have that influx of new business coming in too.
Right.
And I think just like we're sitting here in Morgantown to me is a vibrant city, and it's always changing.
Right.
And you're going to have those ebbs and flows. You're going to have the businesses that have been here for 50, 60, 70 years. And then you have ones that just come and they don't make it. It's a tough thing. I wrote a column a couple of weeks ago talking about what I deemed a secret that most people don't know. And the secret was that most people think that small businesses make these wild profits and they have all these loopholes to avoid taxes and all this kind of stuff. Well, the facts show that that's not true. I don't know if you know or are aware of this, but doing the research, and I actually had it backed up with our CPA, that the average net profit percentage of a West Virginia company is very much in line with the United States, 7 to 10% net profit. Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, that's horrible, right?
Right.
Who's going to do anything for 7 to 10%? But that's the reality, and I think of, the pressures of small business. They're so vital to our communities, such as in Ohio County, Monongalia County, where we're sitting. It's vitally important that we support these small businesses. That's why we do this show.
Yeah, 100%.
To get the word out there, right? So, what would you say in terms of attracting businesses is probably the most difficult thing what's the biggest challenge you're facing attracting businesses to come to your county?
I think sometimes people get nervous about the taxes, right? So understanding what that looks like and the incentives that can be there. So sometimes people will shy away because they don't know who to reach out to and find out what are the incentives? How can I make this process simpler? I think just small business in general, I think the process is not an easy one, right? I've registered my daughter. I've registered a small business for her. She makes some bracelets. So I registered a business for her, and I went through the process and filled out all the paperwork, and it was very time consuming. And I think that can deter people. So I think we need to make sure that on a state and local level that we're making that process simple and easy. And that the people that are in those roles to support those, new businesses, that they understand the process completely, because that can be very frustrating.
Yeah, they just know their piece, but don't understand how it impacts the next piece, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great. And I appreciate, I take it back to your authority. You have authority because you've been a part of a family business. So you understand what it's all about. But then you also have the empathy and understanding, like, hey, this is how we need to be able to serve these people.
Sure. And like you said, the 7 to 10%, right? That doesn't really show people how many hours go into that.
Exactly.
And when somebody, if you have one employee or two employees and they call off, you're the guy, you got to go.
Yeah.
Or you're the girl,
No,
So,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's the average. So some are way more than that. Some are negative. They're in the red, and that's, you can't survive long term if you're not making a profit. And unfortunately that's what happens. When you think about Ohio County being a lifelong resident, what do you think the vision is for Ohio County long term? What do you see out there?
Oh, wow. I think the vision is a community where people feel valued and a part of it, and I think it's right now the momentum is so wonderful and everybody's working together. And I don't know, I think it has been going in that direction for the last few years, but I think we're at the peak where we are all really working together and focused on making things great for new businesses and for new residents that just want to come live there and have families there. So I think the vision is just a place that people can come and feel safe and welcomed and enjoy the quality of life there.
Yeah, I love it. What are some of your favorite areas to frequent in Ohio County?
Sure.
We're not playing favorites. We get that.
Yeah, as a lifelong resident, of course, Oglebay is a favorite of mine. I grew up there. My grandparents used to take me there through the Festival of Lights as a kid, and go to the pool every Sunday. Now it's a little bit different, but it's evolving into something really greater, I guess.
And is that owned by the county?
So that is it's a city park.
City park, yeah.
And it's and then they take care of it, and they've just done some amazing renovations.
Yeah, you think about a government-run entity like a resort, you don't think about Oglebay, but that's what it is, and they do a fantastic job.
They do.
It's a gem of West Virginia.
Oh, for sure.
Oglebay.
I love going there, and I don't live far from there, so I get to drive through there pretty much daily.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, I interrupted you.
So that's a favorite. Center Market's a favorite, of course. The little small business shops down there. That's where my dad started his business. Was down in Center Market.
And that's kind of like right in Wheeling, right?
It is, yeah. Yep. And I'm
right
lucky
downtown,
that
basically.
Oh yeah, and right in the middle of everything, right? And I'm kind of lucky that small town, you're either related or friends with everybody.
That's right.
And so Coleman's Fish Market is actually my family. My uncle owns the fish market.
Amazing.
And so
it's a great place.
It's a favorite place of mine too. So I don't know that there's a bad place in Wheeling.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Folks, we'll be right back. This is Positively West Virginia.
My name's Caitlin Furby. I'm an interior designer with Remarkable Interiors. Our time is very limited. We're trying to do everything we can possible to keep our clients' projects moving and rolling. So Storymaker has been really great for us for putting out how to explain our company. I can sit and agonize about a post and is this right? Does this sound good? When I use Storymaker, it sounds so beautiful and it was so easy and it saves me a lot of time to do the things that I'm really good at.
Stay connected with an unbeatable deal from Breezeline. Get reliable, fiber-powered 500 megabits internet for $39.99 per month with a $100 gift card and price lock guarantee, plus a free modem, free installation, and free Wi-Fi your way. Folks, here at Interaction Media, we're a media company, and we rely on high-speed internet every single day to get our jobs done. That's why we use Breezeline. It's affordable, it's fast, and they're awesome people as well. Learn more at breezeline.com. Folks, we're visiting today with Stephanie Hockenberry. She's with the Ohio County Development Authority. Again, Stephanie, this is great. I appreciate you and what you're doing in Ohio County. Thanks for sharing some of your favorite spots around the county, especially in Wheeling. When I talk about business, everything rises and falls on leadership. You're a business leader. You're a community leader. What do you think is the most important attribute of a successful leader today?
Wow, I really think it's a positive mindset. Having that just ability to bounce back from things, because things are not always going to go as planned, but you've got to get it back up and, find the, even if it's just a tiny piece of positivity, you've got to find it. So
yeah, that's great.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody today, and they said, I'm so afraid, as a small business owner, that something bad's going to happen. I said, well, don't be afraid of it. Something bad is going to happen.
Right.
So it will
Right.
happen, but you have to respond to it, and just expect it. But having that positive mindset is, I'm positive that something bad's going to happen. Right?
Well, I saw something last week that I thought was unique, and it kind of ties in with what you just said there. And it's like, bad things can happen, right?
That's
but
right.
instead of saying that, I've said that many of times in my life, but I've just saw this last week and it said, what's the best thing that could happen?
Yes.
That's like, let's look at it that way, because
Absolutely.
truly, like, it's the best things could happen.
Yeah. Yeah. What if it doesn't work out? What if it does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if something better works out?
Well, and that's part of the mindset too. When one door closes, another one will open. You have to have that outlook in small business, I believe, and understanding. That's one of the reasons I asked you about the vision, because I'm a firm believer too that vision is everything, and vision to me is like what could be and what should be. And once you figure that out as a small business owner, everything kind of falls into place, because you can keep your eyes on the vision. And another one of my favorite little sayings is, without a clear vision, it's impossible to tell an opportunity from a distraction.
True.
And so when you have that vision mindset, when you have that positive outlook like that you're talking about, you're looking ahead and where the opportunities come. And when something enters that field of vision that's not, you go, nope, that's a distraction. It's going to keep me from reaching my goal. So just something to share with you there, because I do believe that you're right on point with that. When I would like to maybe offer an opportunity for you as you're pitching Ohio County. I'm a small business out there saying, hey, I'm not sure where to open my business. Give your pitch for Ohio County. Tell us what's in it.
Oh gosh.
What's in it for a small business owner, or even somebody that wants to move.
Right.
They're looking for a place to call home. What would you say?
So I think it's first you got to come and visit, right? So come and see, and let's take you on a tour, because there's so many different little niche markets in Wheeling and in Ohio County. And so I think it's important to understand first and foremost what your business is. And then we look at that together and say, this would be probably the most opportunistic place for you to go. So I like to see there's like different hubs, and figuring out if this business would be better here or there, because we have the Highlands in Triadelphia, where we have Cabela's, and it's a little hub of just retail businesses.
Great
and
retail,
then there's some small business up there, and there's more opportunity for small business up there. And then I think, you look at Center Market, and there's a lot of opportunity there. So I think it's just figuring out what is your business and where do you see yourself, because I think that's important. It's not necessarily where I think you should go, but working together to feel what's the best
So
fit.
how does that work? You mentioned come for a tour. Now, does the Ohio County Development Authority own parcels, like a business park where you're trying to get tenants, or do you have buildable lands or shovel-ready sites, or talk a little bit about that from your perspective?
So we have kind of all of those things, right? So the Ohio County Development Authority does own the Highlands Park, where we have lots of businesses up there already, but there's still more opportunity.
So the county owns the development there, basically.
Yes.
Oh, that's very
and then
interesting. Yeah.
There's opportunity to buy land, and there's opportunity to lease land. There's opportunity to lease space. So there's multiple things going on there.
Yeah.
The city also owns properties, and there's development opportunities within the city. So since my position kind of reports to all of those groups, I kind of have the best of all the worlds. And so I get to kind of be in the know. But I think that's, it's really just, and it could be private, right? So somebody could own private land, and they could work with realtors, and I work with the realtors to see if there's leads and help
like
them.
Commercial developers and commercial real estate companies, brokers and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's just really everyone coming together to figure out what's the best.
Well, you've kind of used that theme throughout this talk that we've had about the collaborative nature of Ohio County, and I think that's really cool. I've seen that here in Morgantown. We used to be very divisive, but over the last 5-6 years, especially, I serve on the board of the Morgantown Area Partnership, which is our development authority, the Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Morgantown, several other economic development organizations here in Morgantown, in Montague County, and seeing what can be done when you are truly working together instead of being almost like having these little turf wars,
Right.
I'm not saying that's I don't mean it to be that bad, but you understand what I'm saying.
Sure.
But the collaborative nature, and it seems like that's really powerful and happening in Ohio County. And I love it. I think that's going to be the key. And Wheeling is a great area. I love Wheeling. I don't get to go often, but a couple of times a year we'll make it up to Capitol Music Hall, one of my favorite places to see a show.
Absolutely, mine too. That's another one of my favorite places.
Yeah. So, and then just get to see some of the really cool places to eat and all the little establishments around. And it sounds like you're doing a great job up there, and I think that's awesome. So Stephanie, as we close, well, first of all, is there anything else that we missed in our talk about, you or Ohio County that you would like to convey?
Let's see. Talked about all the good things happening. No, we just want people to come visit and
book a
see
tour.
the opportunities. Yeah, come up, see us.
As we close out our time, how can folks learn more about Ohio County?
Sure.
About, maybe even getting in touch with you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
What's the best way to do that?
So to get in touch with me, you can call our office. So I'm in the City County building in Wheeling, and my number is 304-234-3674. And so you can call me. We have the county has a website, so we have ohiocountywv.gov. We're updating that, so bear with us as we work through some updates, and then we'll be launching some new things that I think will allow people to see the growth opportunities that are going to be coming. We have a lot of things in the pipeline that we're working on, housing pieces and more entrepreneur pieces.
Yeah,
so
that's
great. Reach out.
I think our guest once again is Stephanie Hockenberry with the Ohio County Development Authorities. Stephanie, I think what you're doing is awesome. I think having the background as a small business owner, a family, working in the family business, working as a resident of Ohio, growing up in the county, going to West Liberty and other schools there, it's awesome. And I think I think you're doing some really cool work up there. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been an honor to have you on the show today. And I just want to encourage you to keep up the great work.
Thanks. I'm super grateful to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
We'd like to thank our partners, Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Kia of Morgantown, Interaction Media, Storymaker, and our studio sponsor, Breezeline, for helping to share these positive stories. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Positively West Virginia podcast, visit positively.wv.com/sponsor.
Folks, that's a wrap on another episode of Positively West Virginia. If you or someone you know would be a great guest on the show, drop us a line on our website at positively.wv.com. Of course, we appreciate your comments, support, and reviews along the way as well. Thank you guys for that. On behalf of our entire Positively West Virginia team, including our producers today, Mr. Jimmy Murray behind the controls, as well as Hampton Hill, coaching them along, I'm your host, Jim Matuga. Stay positive, West Virginia.